Well, hey everybody, John Ritlin here with a retro review of the Smackdown pilot episode from April 27th, 1999. A lot of people seem to forget that, they actually had a pilot episode. Many seem to think that it started in August of 99. Now, it's to officially start, being broadcast and everything. This was just a test to see how UPN thought, it would go and everything and how it would do. But yeah, I actually forgot about this until I thought, oh, wait a second, I'll do this for a retro review. There are maybe two notable things about this, and the rest of the show is generally shit. Because this is when WWE was starting to overextend themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, I like SmackDown as a brand now, but you could kind of see it as a double-edged sword. It's stretching talents too thin. But anyway, you get recaps of Backlash 99 and what happened on Raw, the Black Wedding, and all that stuff. Michael Cole, Jim Cornette on commentary, hence why the face is up here. Yes, I am a proud card-carrying member of the Cult of Cornette. We have Vince and Steph come down with a whole bunch of cops, and they talk about, the shit that happened. Vince is like, yes, I've been an asshole to the fans, and Steve Austin. He thanked Steve Austin. Stephanie did. Thanked everybody. Stephanie talked about how the Undertaker, made her feel violated, kept touching her and whispering stuff to her and everything. I'm not here to kink shame you, Stephanie, whatever you're into. But yeah, they're talking then. The corporation comes down, led by Shane McMahon, who has taken control of the company. It is like nothing has changed in 20 goddamn motherfucking years. So, more talking. A ton more talking. Shane eventually, kicks Vince and Stephanie out of the ring, says, no, I'll leave, I control this company, whatever. Shane doing a pretty good job as the spoiled rich kid and all that. Vince implies that this isn't over, and it wasn't. Well, then he runs down Stephanie and Vince, but then he runs down Austin and Rock, saying, okay, you two guys, since I'm in charge, are going to team up against, Triple H, and then the Undertaker, suddenly shows up on the screen. And his music, well, first his music's playing, like, the ministry version, and it's almost drowning out what he's saying. And they post-produce this shit, and I don't understand how they couldn't have made that a little bit better, but whatever. It was, you couldn't fucking hear him. You could barely hear him. You had to really almost turn your TV up and then turn the music up, and yeah, it was bad. So yeah, that's our main event. Triple H Taker versus Austin and Rock. We then get a bunch of, backstage segments, stuff like that. A lot of Kevin Kelly doing the interviews here. We get Val Venus versus the Blue Blazer, who's Owen Hart, by the way. Jeff Jarrett and Deborah are backstage. What the hell's going on here? So they come out. They're going to, face Val Venus. Nope. Blue Blazer, Owen Hart, runs from behind, attacks Val Venus. So Deborah and Jarrett stay at ringside. One point, I believe somebody said, I think it was Cole, said, the lovely Deborah never has the term lovely been stretched so goddamn thin. I know I am no prize, but I'm sorry to put that on TV. It literally looked like if she ran too hard, her tits were going to smash her cheekbones or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, Owen ends up winning after Jarrett. Well, Deborah distracts Val Venus, and then, Jarrett hits a low blow while Val had the fisherman suplex on the Blue Blazer. So yeah, there we go. He wins. Okay, cool, whatever. Nicole Bass runs down and chases Jeff Jarrett off. Okay, didn't really need to see that, but whatever. Godfather then comes down. He won the right to face, or to have Deborah be part of his, entourage, if you will. And I did a review of the Raw Nitro from the 26th of April, 1999. There's a link up here, or at some point I will put it at the end of the video, so just so you know, or just search on the channel, it'll be there. But yeah, so Godfather gets beat up by both of them. We then get a Rock promo talking about the tag match. The Blue Blazer, Owen Hart promo. Really sad how he never got to, go on to do bigger things than this, as unfortunately his tragic death would hit just less than a month after this. But what is it? Say your prayers, take your vitamins, and drink your milk. Just Owen being Owen. We then get Big Show versus Test. Dropkick, choke slam. Big Boss and Big Show wins. Boss Man attacks Test, but then Show runs him off. This is where the Union starts to form. Remember the Union? They carried 2x4s and they had a theme song that lasted for about a month, maybe 2 weeks. I don't even think that long. We can then get a Rock promo. He's in the ring, typical, running down. He was a bit surprised by the crowd adulation he kept getting, but it was undeniable that the fans were going to cheer the Rock. And then Austin's here. He doesn't trust anybody about the blah. And then Shane comes out. And then, oh God, the Undertaker's here. And it's the formation of the corporate ministry. the factions, the amount of factions that they did during the Monday Night Wars. I mean, yes, ECW did them, and some of them were good, and some of them were shit. WCW did too many of them. But let's take two factions that were just kind of middling and put them together, so it's like two sinking ships all on one sinking ship. It was just ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong, WWE kept succeeding and still succeeds to this day, even despite some quarterly earnings that have been lower than last year. But the corporation was filled with some good guys, but some jobbers. Same with the ministry. So let's combine them. Now, don't get me wrong, it led to a cool theme song, but it lasted, 2 months? I think 2 months. I think after King of the Ring 99. It was King of the Ring? No, it was Fully Loaded. I think it was Fully Loaded 99, actually, that was the end. I think this was the end of it. So yeah, it was like, I think it lasted maybe 3 months. Something like that. It did not last very goddamn long. The whole corporate ministry thing was absolute shit, absolute trash. It really, really goddamn was. This segment, it's worth watching. Just commentary, Cole Cornette are selling the hell out of this thing, and I didn't buy it. I just kept laughing. I laughed at it when I was 18. I was like, this is stupid. But WCW is just doing more stupid shit on their network and on their program. But yeah, the corporate ministry. Ooh, spoopy corporation. So yeah, then we get an X-Pac Kane promos for the tag title match later. And then draws with Albert versus D'Lo with Ivory. There was a powerbomb spot by D'Lo and Draws. This was not the one where infamously Draws ended up paralyzed. That was a little bit frightening. That happened a number of months later. But it did remind me of it when I saw this. DQ, Albert at one point looks like he's about to pierce D'Lo. No, not that way. I run a clean show here. But then Ivory gets Mark Henry to run down there in a, lime green jacket and chase them off, and we get that tag match probably sometime down the road, maybe at Over the Edge. I don't really remember, honestly. Some of 99 tends to blend together for me. New Age Outlaws versus Kane and X-Pac. New Age Outlaws had a promo before we get this match. Longest match of this and the main event were the longest matches of the night. Decent. X-Pac got beat up a bit. Kane got targeted some, but eventually the champions would end up retaining after a miscommunication between Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, which would lead to them having a scrap later, and would lead to DX splitting and then, disbanding after a bit, after Billy Gunn would become the King of the Ring in 1999. And then they proceeded to do nothing with him. It actually could have worked if they would have done anything with him, or at least would have worked better than they did, or better than what ended up being the result. So yeah, we get a Michael Hayes interview where he interviews the Brood. Ed got a pop when he talked, and then they gave Hayes a bloodbath. Not the first time that Hayes has been covered in a weird foreign liquid, and it won't be the last. So Shamrock versus Bradshaw, no holds barred, street fight, yet rope breaks are legal. Right. There was bad usage. There was some good stuff. I mean, you're going to get, if you get Shamrock in a street fight, it's going to be good. It was what it was. It was fine. Shamrock managed to choke out Bradshaw by using a chokehold, but also using the bat for added leverage, even though the bat was on the side here. Referees try to break up the whole thing afterwards after Shamrock's declared the winner. He chases off the refs, then beats up Slaughter with a bat. This is one of the last times that you would see. Shamrock only lasted, 5 more months after this, and then wanted some time off, and I think his contract ended up running out after that. It was what it was. We get Mankind versus the Big Boss Man. Mankind had a promo in a boiler room. And then this was really quick because you had Big Boss Man run down during Test's match earlier. So Test runs down during Big Boss Man's match. Distracts him. Big Show tosses Big Boss Man in the ring, which somehow isn't a DQ. Sacco, that does that. This is where the Union starts to get formed. Again, which only lasted for a little bit. We get Triple H, Undertaker, Austin and Rock. Crowd is hot. That was about it. Austin and Rock, the Unlikely Alliance, worked pretty well here. Not the Unholy Alliance, or not the Alliance. That was unholy if there ever was one. If I'm still doing videos in 2021, I'll do a 20-year reflection on, WCW disbanding and the Alliance forming and the Invasion pay-per-view. Yeah, who knows what the future will hold. The whole point is boy, this was, it was thrown out after a few minutes because the corporate ministry runs down, then Shamrock and Test run down. They chase off everybody. There was this one point where Shane throws his chair into Undertaker. Vince runs down even though they thought he had left. Punches Shane, sort of. Runs in the ring, stops Undertaker from using a chair. And Taker just wallops Vince with the chair. And I mean, it sounded like a freaking watermelon being smashed. It sounded, oh God, it sounded so bad. Concussion City, those head chair shots to the head. I'm so glad they don't do those anymore. As much as I thought they were cool when I was younger, it's like, oh, having had concussions, and I'm not any kind of athlete at all, I just can only imagine. Human body's not meant to take that. But we end up with Undertaker being stunned, and then Shane being stunned, and then Austin celebrates at the end. So yeah, that's the end of the SmackDown, pilot episode. We started the first match, I think, about 20 minutes in, and by, I think it was 85, 87 minutes, I think we were at the 7th match. So 1 hour of time was devoted to, was devoted to matches and talking. So I would say maybe 40 minutes of this was dedicated to matches, and that might even be generous. Yeah, it was pretty shit. Notable for the corporate ministry thing and the union and all that stuff, but whatever. I may try to do more retro reviews as time goes on. It's just going to depend on what, the amount of time that I have, in my schedule, because I'm going to be very busy this summer. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.